What's going to happen when you surround yourself with people and places and things that are not compatible with you? Are there consequences? Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance. And yes, that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, it's not for you. Don't force it, let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss the consequences of surrounding yourself with the wrong people or being in environments or just surrounding yourself with people and places and things who are not equally yoked, who are not energetically connected to you, as well as some reminders, some recommendations, some disclaimers, and what to be aware of. Starting off with the disclaimers. You have to know that when you surround yourself with people and places and things that are not for you, it comes with consequences. And before we get into that, big shout out to Simone. Her information will be down in the description as well as in the title and the screenshot here. This is why we're making this video. You have to know that if you have certain goals that you want to achieve in this life, you have to start surrounding yourself with people who are achieving them as well or in that similar direction. Surrounding yourself with people and places and things who are not compatible with you, whether it's emotionally, physically, psychologically, financially, or howeverly, is only going to hinder you. Not just that, when something or someone is for you, it doesn't cause you to feel tense. It doesn't cause you to feel overwhelmed. It doesn't cause you to feel drained. You have to start paying attention to the relationships that you have with yourself and people and places and things and environments to discern if you're meant to be there or not. A second thing you need to be aware of is that it could cost you your life. There are a lot of people in this world, the entertainers, celebrities, us, people you know, who've been in narcissistic, toxic, dysfunctional, envious environments and end up losing their lives. You have to realize that when you're in relationships and people and places and things and they don't pour into you, they don't motivate you, they don't educate you, and they're not positive, they don't want to change, they want to heal, and they want to be on a lower vibration, they're going to bring you down, whether it's intentionally because they're malicious or they're evil or because that's all they know. This doesn't mean that these people are good or bad, but you have to know that everyone is not always compatible with you, and that's okay. When you're surrounding yourself in environments and your gut, which is your intuition, tells you you're not meant to be here, you cannot ignore it. The longer you ignore your intuition, the longer you deal with those consequences, such as having your life taken away, such as losing jobs, such as losing opportunities. Once again, when people and places and things that are not for you, that are malicious, of course, they will go out their way to sabotage you and hurt you and put you in harm because they don't care. Wickedness, unfortunately, exists for some people, but not everybody. So you have to realize the safety. When I was around certain people, places, and things, there were times in my life I had to be extremely mindful of that. I don't want my life to be taken away from me. So immediately I was able to remove myself. Not everyone is able to do that. Like, this is why people say read the room. Everywhere you go, people may not be friendly, unfortunately. Everywhere you go, people may not be happy for you. So it's like, if you're mindful of yourself, of course, never fear anything or anybody. But if you could pick up that, let's just say you're somebody who has things going for themselves and you're in an environment or you're around certain people and places and things who don't have nothing going for themselves and they're willing to take you out, you got to be mindful of that. You have to be aware that if you are meant to be somewhere, you should never feel uncomfortable. If you're meant to be in a relationship with somebody, they should never make you feel uncomfortable. This doesn't mean that when you're going to environments, when you're building relationships, when you're healing, that you're not going to have differences or disagreements. But in those differences, when you disagree with people, there's still, should be a certain level of respect and understanding. Just because people understand you doesn't mean they can relate to you. So the third thing you also need to be aware of when you're discerning who's for you and who's not is knowing what you know and trusting yourself. You cannot afford, moving forward when you're watching these videos, to ignore your intuition. Your intuition, for a lot of women that were in domestic violence situations and men, have lost their life, staying in relationships longer than what they were supposed to be, staying in friendships longer than what they're supposed to be. And of course, once again, when you're a genuine, loving person and you're not negative, you're not hateful, you're not malicious, you're not evil, you don't necessarily think to look at life like that. And it's not until sometimes you're in situations and afterwards that you reflect and you realize, okay, these people didn't have my best interest. So it's like, you don't necessarily have to beat yourself up from being around certain people, places, and things from your past up until now, but moving forward, you have to become intentional. And I'm speaking from experience. There were a lot of people that I was around that did not have my best interest, who did not genuinely want me to do well. And it wasn't until I started to, put 2 and 2 together to get 4, or 4 plus 4 to get 8, because that's what we do. We eat everybody up. That I realized, like, okay, I'm not safe. These people, they say that they like me, they say they support me, whole time talking about me, spreading rumors, lies, gossips. And to me, anybody who can go out their way to sabotage you, like psychologically, emotionally, and mentally, is capable of taking you out. And you guys, like I said, as we continue to put these videos and we're taking what resonates and we're healing ourselves, you guys are going to know more about me. There's a lot of things that I've witnessed on this earth. Okay, good and bad. And because I've experienced both good and bad, I'm telling you from experience, everyone is not positive. Everyone is not happy. Everyone is okay. So it's like, you really have to realize that if you feel like someone's envious of you, if you feel like somebody's watching you, if you feel like you're endangering your harm, you need to not ignore it. And a lot of times too, when you try to confront people who are emotionally immature about these circumstances, they're going to be in denial. A lot of people who are envious and malicious and evil that function in low vibrational state are mentally unstable. So rather they're aware of it or they're not, what I've learned is unhealed, low vibrational people do not like to acknowledge their insecurities. Me personally, that's the biggest red flag. It's one thing if you have insecurities and you feel envy or you feel low vibrational or you don't feel good about yourself because you weren't taught and shown, but you want to learn. But to choose to be willfully ignorant, to choose to hurt and harm people who've done nothing to you because you have insecurities, because you're poor, or whatever it is, anything that's not positive, red flag. So it's like, unless you're meant to be in a relationship with somebody, they will fix their flaws. None of us on this earth is perfect. Everybody has a past. Everybody has skeletons in their closets. It's just about if you're going to be vulnerable and if you're going to be honest. And that's the final thing. When it comes to you being mindful of your surroundings, you have to be honest with yourself. Do you need to be in this environment? If you know, let's just say you grew up silver spoon-head, golden spoon-head, fortunate, do you necessarily need to be around people who don't have the same as much as you? If you know that if there's particular parts in the world where there is racism, because unfortunately that exists, or colorism, do you need to be going in places where you know you're not welcome? Because at a certain point, not to invalidate your experience, but speaking from experience, you have to hold yourself to a certain standard and a certain accountability. When I was around certain people, places, and things, and certain things happened to me and it was traumatic, I had to hold myself at fault. Now, of course, once again, if you were naive, you weren't taught and shown, you didn't have the guidance, you didn't have the wisdom, you didn't have discernment, you didn't have God, answers to the universe, okay, cool. I'm not here to force religion or spirituality. That's fine. But it's like afterwards, you very much so do have to take it seriously. There's a time and a place to take things seriously, and there's not. There are rappers in the world who end up being taken out by surrounding themselves with people, places, and things. Like I said, women and men who end up having their lives taken away because they were in relationships with people, places, and things. And even people you know people that stayed in relationships that they weren't meant to be in. And then what happens is, the longer you stay in the environment that's not for you, the more your body starts to deteriorate inside and out. The more you become bitter, the more you become frustrated, the more you start to be miserable, the more you start to have resentment towards people, places, and things. Think about the relationships that weren't serving you. Think about people you know who end up having kids and having divorces, and people started turning. We just want to avoid that. If you've gone through it, okay, cool, pat yourself on the back, learn from it. You can move forward. So now, what are going to be the recommendations? The first thing that I'm going to remind you of is that you need to be aware of your own energy, so therefore you can discern what's for you and what's not. If you don't know your energy, if you don't know what it is that you're supposed to be doing, if you don't know who you want to be, you have to continue to take time to yourself. You have to be mindful of what you watch on YouTube, on Instagram, social media, in real life. Just because people are giving you advice doesn't mean it's for you, including myself. That's why I tell you guys, take what resonates, leave the rest. You're not always going to agree with me. I'm not always going to agree with you. That's fine. What makes sense to you, you take it, you apply it. Everything else, leave it to the side. People are going to have opinions. People are entitled to feel how they feel. Rather, we agree with them or not. That's like when people are negative and they come in the comment section, they talk about me on the internet, the blogs, etc. It's not for me. I don't need to pay it any mind. People that agree with the content, they like it, they share it, they repost, they let me know what works, and we go about our business. It's no reason at this point in our lives, as you're watching these videos and you're elevating, that you don't know your own energy. The second thing you need to be aware of is trusting your intuition, trusting what you know. Everybody doesn't know what you know. If everybody knew what you knew, don't you think people would, one band, one sound, kumbaya, act accordingly? No, the world, especially in America, is all over the place, based off of hierarchies, position, greed, power, status, you name it. Religion, color, okay? At the end of the day, people are people. If you start looking at people for people, you wouldn't have to worry about all this extra stuff. And that's going to be like tied into the third thing, but I'm going to keep it to the second thing. Stop ignoring what you know about certain people. When you have discernment, when you could feel things and see things before they happen, you cannot sit here and try to explain that to somebody who doesn't get it. You can't change people. So if your spirits, your energy, your ancestors, your God, whomever is telling you that this person or this place or this thing is not for you, stop trying to force it. Stop trying to over-explain yourself. Stop trying to make it work. Because what happens is when you go out your way to force relationships and connectionships and over-explain yourself, you're draining your energy. And that's what some evil people want. They want to siphon off of your energy. And that's something that we avoid. When you know who you are, you know who's for you, who's not. You have to be able to trust your intuition. So how do you trust your intuition? You got to practice. You got to meditate. You got to go to your God. You got to go to your ancestors. You got to go to the universe. There's information on YouTube. There's information in books. There's information on the internet. I'm not here to force religion or spirituality, but I respect people's spiritualities and religions and vice versa. You have to become educated. You have to become equipped in order for you to have discernment, because when you're meant to see something, when you're meant to hear something, you will. But in order for you to get to this level, you have to practice. The more you know what it is that you're doing, it doesn't have to make sense to everybody else. What I do is not meant to be explained. You're either going to get it or you don't. Now, you have to be able to also, too, put people in, like, their place, put people in their categories. And I'm not talking about, like, verbally attacking people or articulating and expressing to them like in a place of authority, but knowing where you stand with certain people, places, and things. Like, if these people are your associates, that's nothing more, nothing less. That's all you have to do is associate when you're in professional settings, being cordial. If these people are your coworkers, you need to treat people like such. If these people are your family, they need to act like it. Just because you're related to people doesn't mean you're family. Just because you work with people doesn't mean they like you. And just because you call people your friends doesn't mean they feel the way about you. In these relationships, in these environments, you need to make sure that it's mutual. If it's not mutual, it's not going to work. You never have to over-explain yourself. You never have to force yourself. You never have to feel afraid or judge when you're in an environment that is for you. So when you're in environments and you're not able to take up space, you're not able to be confident, you're not able to be yourself like completely, it's not for you. And you got to start paying attention to the signs. That's the fourth thing that I recommend. Pay attention to when things are not good. You will know. If you don't know immediately, the more and more you start noticing what people say, what people do, how environments affect your mood, the more you'll realize, okay, like, am I meant to be here? Is this person really for me? And when someone is for you, regardless of how long it takes for it to come to pass or for it to come to fruition or for you to experience that reality or whatever it is, it will be patient. When somebody is for you, they're patient. When environment is meant for you to thrive, everything is going to go well. Even like I said, when you have your hiccups, which are a part of alignment, you have to realize that certain things are happening to you because it's either in alignment with you or it's not in alignment with you. But ultimately, we look at the bigger picture. We're looking from a bird's eye view for your greatest and highest good. So with that being said, be mindful of the company that you keep. Let me know if you ever surround yourself with people and places and things who didn't mean you well and it ended up costing you, as well as what you thought of this video, what is working for you, what's not, as well as thank you guys for giving it a big thumbs up. I appreciate every time you guys like this video. I appreciate every time you guys are engaging, copying, and sharing, as well as following me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below, as well as following me on my Instagram and on TikTok for the month of October and this month of October, I said that already, for this month of October, in the playlist of October, excuse me, I have been going live answering you guys' questions and comments that I haven't addressed in the comment section, like if I wasn't able to respond, as well as just getting to know me, getting to know you. This is a judge-free environment place, so all rude and disrespectful negative comments, don't engage, don't respond. Like, this is for the mature audience, mature, beautiful, intelligent, genuine people. So if you don't fall into these categories, this content's not for you. And once again, you can't force it. You don't have to force people to support you. You don't have to force people to like you. Those who are. Those who don't, live your best life. There are 8 billion people in this world. Life is going to continue to go on. And yeah, as well as DM me on Instagram if you guys have any specific topics or concerns. Like, follow me on Instagram, because each platform I have different things. Like on Instagram, I have like just keeping you guys up to date, like in my stories, posts, etc. On YouTube, we have the community section, so you guys know when I'm gonna upload videos, what video you guys are interested in. TikTok, just brief, like motivational and reminder videos that are short term. And then of course YouTube, these are the tutorials where you guys are getting your pen and your papers, as well as booking your service in your session if you're ready for your one-on-one. Do not ignore your intuition. It's better to be late than to be sorry, than to lose your life. Because once you lose your life, that's it. Once you're in a situation, and I will say this before I end off the video, once you're in a situation that costs you like your time, energy, and effort, it takes a long time to get back. That's what nobody seems to be talking about. And maybe I'll make that into part 2. Let me know if you guys want me to elaborate furthermore. But it's like, the longer you stay in relationships and jobs and people and places and things, the more you're going to have to recover from it. So just keep that in mind. Don't allow people to gaslight you. I don't care if that girl says she liked you. If your energy don't feel like that, she don't. Everyone is not going to be honest. Everyone's not going to be truthful. And like I said, when you see things and you hear things that the average person doesn't, it doesn't have to make sense to them. Okay? Love you. Bye.